A warm greetings to one and all. Whether it is online class or offline class, besides preparing well for the class, besides sharing so many online tools and making the class interesting and lively, a teacher should have a good sense of humor. Humor is not something that can be patented by only a few individuals. All of us have a sense of humor. All we need to do is we need to exhibit it at regular intervals to make sure that the classroom is turned into a lively atmosphere. Once we are able to do that, we can say loudly and proudly that we have done our job as a teacher. And today, in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you some tips for teachers as to how to be humorous. I'm not going to give tips one by one. Rather, I'm going to share with you what happened in one of my classes when I chose to teach on Russian Revolution. And based on that, you'll be able to draw your own inferences. I hope this video will be beneficial to you to make an impact in the minds of the students. Humor has to be the most important ingredient in teaching. This I'm explaining with the help of an analogy. Here, you see a cake. The base of the cake is humor. The cake itself is the content, and the cherry of the cake are the values. No doubt all three are important, but if humor is the base, the other two would reach the students in no time. Humor is beyond reason and beyond season. As teachers, we should always keep in mind that we are like a stand-up comedian who goes well prepared for all programs that have lined up. And we should also keep in mind that we can hypnotize the students and mesmerize the students with the content and with the right blend of humor. It can be applied in all subjects. I remember reading this joke somewhere. A teacher once asked a child, what would have happened if Newton had not discovered the law of gravitation? The answer from a child was very simple. The child said, then in that case, we wouldn't have had a chapter in physics. That's it. So it applies to all subjects and in all situations. Basically, humor is of three types as teachers. One is content-based, the second is situation-based, and the third one is activity-based. I'm not going to say more about the content-based humor. The reason is very simple. This is the place where our resourcefulness as a teacher comes into play. Therefore, I'll focus more on the other two. Situation-based. In a day-to-day happenings, in a classroom, so many things would happen, keep happening. That itself can be turned into humorous situations. Let us always remember that students require a daily dosage of humor, not only during this pandemic times, but also during the regular times. I remember I told the students in the classroom once that I am looking for a web camera on which brand to buy. And one student said, sir, you don't have to worry. I'll give you my camera. It works very well. On hearing this, the other child said, sir, he is correct because he never switches on the camera. Therefore, it is in good condition. So these are some situation-based humors, which students will generate in the classroom. We just have to observe and enjoy. And at the end of the day, we would find that we are not being overburdened by the content. Let me give you an example for activity-based humor. We can conduct activities like, if I have the power to change one event in history, what would that be? Many students would come up with humorous situations like India capturing Britain, or some students would say that India sending a part of its population to settle in Antarctica, things like that you would come across. Of course, they are not just humorous. There is a deep-rooted thinking in all these things. Later on, children can be asked to explain why did they come up with such situations. There is an activity called exchange offer, which we can try out in the classroom. If you wish to exchange one leader in India, and in turn, if you're going to get one leader from USA, what would that leader be? And students might even say that, okay, I would exchange one current politician in India with the ex-president of USA, things like that. That would emerge in the class. At the end of the day, if our chapter is humor-packed, action-packed, it does mean that we have done the job as teachers in the current day scenario. While teaching nihilism, I did this experiment with the students. I held a pen in my hand and asked the children to tell something which should not be the correct answer. And one student said, sir, you're holding a broomstick in your hand. And the other child said, sir, you're holding a washing machine in your hand. What happens is, at the end of this, all the answers that I received from students, I used it as an example for nihilism. Nihilism is an idea which revolves around negating the authority. So a simple situation like this can be turned humorous. And this also involves the students who don't tend to take part in the class. Once you ask them to contradict you, they'll be the first person to contradict you. For instance, if you tell them that I'm wearing a blue t-shirt today, they would say, no, sir, it's a gray t-shirt. But as a matter of fact, it is neither blue nor gray. It might be of some other color. To make the students understand the meaning of the word sly as well as intelligence, and sly coupled with intelligence, I quoted this example. I told the students, now I'm keeping my hands closed. You might think that I may not have anything in the hand, but in the clasped hands, in between two hands, there is a remote control. And if I press the remote control button, there might be a bomb blast in two places. This is the example I gave for how a person can be if the person has intelligence as well as sly. Censorship is a process or procedure by which the government decides what is to be published and what is not to be published. It is a typical characteristic of any dictatorial regime. To make the students understand, I came up with this example. First, I wrote a sentence on myself. The sentence is, the advocate sir is an idiot who has the capacity to misguide everyone. And then I told the students that if this goes through the office of the censors, what change they would have made. And then the next sentence, I just replaced the word idiot with genius. This helped the children to understand what type of censorship must have happened during the rule of Joseph Stalin. Nowhere in his speeches or in his writings, Lenin had hinted that Stalin would be his successor, but Stalin kept telling everyone, Stalin kept fooling everyone. So to make students understand this, I came up with this example. I told the students, imagine that I go to USA and I tell everyone that I'm a very close relative of Joe Biden. And I fool people. But at the end of the day, once it is proved that I am not the real heir, then I'll be put behind bars. This was the example I gave the children to make them understand that it's very easy to mislead people. While teaching about Stalin, I told the students that Stalin was instrumental in setting up cafeterias in many places. I paused for a while and asked the students, do you believe that cafeteria should be there everywhere? If you feel that it is yes, where should it be set up more? Some students came up with the idea that it should be set up in schools. And when I asked them, they told me that if a class is boring, they can go to cafeteria and sip a cup of cappuccino rather than attending the class. Some students also came up with the idea that if they drink a cup of cappuccino, it activates their brain, because of which they can attend the subsequent classes with a great deal of concentration. This is an example for situation-based humor. During the Battle of Stalingrad, even grandmothers stood on rooftops with guns. So when I told the students about this, instantly one student downloaded an image and uploaded it. That is the image which I have also used it as a backdrop for this particular slide. Our success as a teacher depends largely on the strategies we adopt. Whatever strategies we adopt, let us always ensure that it has a touch of humor. And once if we have a touch of humor, we will not only be remembered as teachers who made our presence felt, we will also be remembered as teachers who promoted laughter therapy, which is always the need of the hour. Thank you for your patient hearing.